If you would have told me at 12 years old that I would go on to become a professional athlete and win an Olympic medal, I probably would have thought that you were crazy. I had different dreams as a kid, and none of them included me becoming a professional athlete. It was difficult for me to see myself in the space of sport, particularly in the sport of fencing, because that had never been done by someone who looked like me. And being one of one, often in different spaces in the classroom, growing up in a predominantly white town, or as an athlete, being in a sport like fencing, not seeing very many other athletes who looked like me was challenging. And it wasn't that I necessarily didn't feel comfortable. It was often that I saw my skin color and my very visible religious like headwear, my hijab, had the power to change how people treated me. And those hurdles that I faced as a young person, even as a professional athlete, I see them as notches, in the belt. Those are difficult moments that I was able to overcome, and I was able to come out successful because I was determined. I was determined to see change in my sport. I was determined to see a more diverse Team USA, a team that I felt like was more representative of the America that I know. And I wanted to make sure that I was not the last woman of color, or that I'm not the last woman of color on the United States Women's Saber team, that there are many women, who will come after me, who wear hijab, who will compete for Team USA and hopefully also win Olympic medals. I knew that my journey was bigger than me the moment I qualified for my first Olympic team, and I knew it was an opportunity to show not only myself that it could be done, and challenge the naysayers that I'd heard throughout my life, but also the opportunity to show a new narrative of the Muslim community that, challenges these age-old stereotypes and misconceptions that people have about who Muslims are, who Muslim women are, where we're from, what we look like. I'm native to New Jersey, I'm African American, and I play sports, and not only do I play, I'm really good, and I have an Olympic medal, and I want people to know that I am what an athlete looks like. And I've never allowed the hurdles to define me and define my story. It's more so about what you're able to do in those difficult moments. And it's about being resilient and believing in yourself. And I talk about a lot of these things very explicitly, I would say, in my memoir, Proud, My Fight for an Unlikely American Dream. And I wanted to tell my story in a way that was very real and very raw, because it can definitely seem unbelievable when you hear about these hurdles, that are kind of thrown in front of you. But I think the good news is that you have the opportunity to tell the story, have the opportunity to be successful, because I chose to work hard and believe in this crazy dream of, competing for the world's best Olympic team and competing for the United States and being able to win an Olympic medal. What drives me to get up in the morning and go training every day is the opportunity to get better. The more time I spend training, the more confident I'll be on game day. When you show up at the Olympics, at World Cup, or on game day, you want to be prepared. And so the more time and energy you put into getting stronger, getting faster, you are feeding yourself the confidence that you'll need to show up on game day and perform better. When you are overwhelmed with the nerves when you feel unprepared, it's because maybe you haven't prepared. And so the more time and energy I'm putting into becoming a stronger athlete, developing my speed, I think I'm building, I'm building everything that I need to take with me on game day. I'm building up my confidence. I'm building up my mental game. I'm literally getting stronger and preparing myself to show up, to win and be successful when it counts. I think doubt and nerves definitely play a part of our lives as athletes. It's something that we confront every day. But one thing I try to never do is let nerves or doubts get in the way of being successful or securing the win. Spending a lot of time developing my craft, thinking about all of those hours in the gym, they prepare you for big moments and allow you to show up without doubt, with your nerves under control, and able to compete at the highest level of sport. After a tough loss or falling short of a goal, it can be a really tough hurdle to overcome mentally. But what I love about sport is the opportunity to get back in the gym, to get back to training, and work hard on those things that I need to develop, that I need for my next match, that I need to be successful for my next match. And that in turn helps me regain my confidence because now I feel better prepared. Sports and being active played such a big role in my family when I was growing up that I've always considered myself an athlete. I feel really blessed that my parents kind of forced my hand when it comes to sports because sports taught me so much about myself, my abilities, how to work hard in order to see real results. And sports taught me the value of teamwork and self-confidence, but I think the most important lesson has been how to handle loss. I never think of a loss as the end of the road, but more as an opportunity to grind, to develop my craft, to show up, and to win next time. And I think that lesson transcends sport and has helped me become a better, more resilient person. If I could give my younger self advice, I would tell myself to be my own biggest cheerleader. I was bullied relentlessly as a kid for being different, sometimes because I wore hijab or because my skin was brown, even sometimes because I was the kid who always had her hand up in class and wanted to put in the extra effort to make sure that I got an A. And it wasn't always easy, wanting to be the best. And that pressure that I felt, to be accepted by my peers and not being accepted, I felt was really discouraging at times. And when I learned to appreciate myself and not to rely on the acceptance of others and learning to support myself and uplift myself and feed myself positive energy, it really changed how I showed up for myself every day, not just as a kid, but also as an adult. So again, if I could tell my younger self anything, it would be to be your own biggest, greatest cheerleader and love, support yourself, and know that with hard work, determination, any crazy dream is possible. I think the greatest barrier for me in fencing was probably that I wasn't great at first. And I wanted to make sure that I wasn't being deterred because I wasn't good. And I worked really, really hard. I had a great team that was super supportive and just inclusive of everyone, no matter your skill set or the weapon that you fence. We were just very much so a unit that I really appreciated, as a kid. But I would say one of the most important or integral parts of my fencing journey was definitely my first fencing coach. His name is Frank Mistilli, and one thing that I've always loved about Frank is that he has the ability to get any kid to believe in themselves, no matter your abilities, whether you have two left feet, not an athletic bone in your body. Frank will get you to see your own potential and your value and what you bring to the table. I think that having a good coach can really change the trajectory of your life. It can change the trajectory of your sports career because their behavior forces the idea of, leading by example, and that the success that they want for you and the success that, your team shows you can be emulated, by younger people. And I think that Frank did that so well, not just for me, but for all the kids that he's coached throughout his life. I think that he is a rarity in the coaching world, and I hope that there are more Franks out there, more coaches who are really there to uplift our kids and help them believe in themselves, help them develop, their skill set and their sport, but also there to help motivate and encourage them and inspire them to be successful, not only on the field, but also off of it.